Hello, I'm the Noob21, and today I'm going to show you how to mod Wii Sports. So, you're going to need a couple things. So, I have a Wii Sports modding folder just to keep it all organized, and in here I have two things, BrawlCrate, which we'll get to in just a second, and our data. To get the data, there's going to be a video in the top right hand corner showing you how to extract the data from a ISO file of a Wii game. And so to get BrawlCrate is you have to go to this GitHub page right here, and the latest release will be right here. I'll leave this in the description, and you can just download the exe file and put it in someplace safe, like where I have it. So first off, we want to make like a mods folder, and so we can store all of our mods that we do just to be organized. And so we can go into our data now and go into the files, and if you want sound, it's going to be right here. If you want the stages, it's going to be right here. If you want some various UI stuff, it's going to be right here. But our main modding folder is going to be common. I'm going to be showing off two games on how to mod in Wii Sports. I'm going to show off tennis, and I'm going to show off boxing, just because some of the files are different. And so I'll start off with tennis because it's a little bit easier. So we can see we have only one file in the tennis category. So we can click this and Control C all the way back to our mods folder, and we can just call this tennis mods. And so we can paste it right here. And so if you have it already, you can go to properties and change it to BrawlCrate to automatically open with BrawlCrate every time. So we can click on this, and you're going to see a BrawlCrate menu opens up, and we can see the file system. You don't have to worry about these three first folders. Everything's going to be in the G3D folders. So we have a couple breast files right here, which contain all of the models, basically like sections for all of the textures and models in a certain game. And so we can start off with the racket, because that's the main thing people want to change. Before we do anything, actually, we have to go to tools and setting, because if you want to later edit any models or anything, then you're going to have to go to updater and BrawlCrate Canary, because standard BrawlCrate crashes when you try to open and export the 3D models. So just in advance, we can do this. Just check right here, and then it's going to show you this, and you can click yes. It's going to shut down, it's going to update right here, and so you can see it's going to say that, but that means it works. And so we can go right here, and Canary, you can see it changed from just the standard BrawlCrate to Canary. And so we can go to properties, change, and we see we now have BrawlCrate Canary. So now we can open it up, and we can see it opens up. And we're just going to basically do the same thing. That's just for if you ever want to do more advanced stuff later, but I recommend doing that before we start. And so tennis racket, we can see we have our 3D model right here of our tennis racket. But we all know that in Wii Sports there's different player colors, like there's a blue, a red, a yellow, and green. So we can open up our textures file right here, and we're going to see this, all of these textures. This doesn't do anything. This is a light map so that it reflects light and it looks a lot better in game. And we can see these two don't do anything either. But we have all of these rackets right here. So we can go ahead and just export all of these. Make sure it's PNG so that we can edit it. Mods, tennis mods. And I'm just going to put this in a racket folder. So we can go and export all of these too. I'm going to skip out on this one because the main thing people want to see is just like the different colors. So we can exit out, actually we can just minimize BrawlCrate, and then we can go to our racket folder, and you can open this up in an image editor. I highly recommend using paint.net or something like Photoshop, because those two are really great at editing and adjusting easily textures. So we can zoom in right here with all of these colors, and I'm going to only show the blue one working in game, even though I'm going to edit all of these, because the blue one is just player one. So what we can do is, if we go to the adjustments, if you're using paint.net, then we can use something called invert, and it will look a lot different. But I'm just going to change this up a bit. And so you can use the hue or saturation tab to make it all different colors. I'm going to leave it with the orange and white because I think it looks pretty cool. And so we can do like a different saturation right here just to make it like stand out a bit more. You can do something like this. And then there's also a temperature. I have a plugin, which you can also do this on Photoshop too, which changes the temperature. So it could either look really weird or like really warm in a picture. So for our final one, I want to show you a tool called Recolor, and we can just have the brush width be a bit more. But basically we can select a color. If you don't have the color wheel, you can just click right here and it's going to show up, and you can click a color and it's going to replace it with that. So how about we do like a hot pink, and so we can have this, but you notice it's going to be a bit sloppy, but we only want the green part, so that's where we can have tolerance in. We can have it color a lot more than we want, or filter it down to a lot less. So as you can see, this is a bit better. And we can also do it in this area too. So that should be good. We can go ahead and exit out. It's going to ask us to save all of these. Make sure we do. And right in that place, we're going to see our edited tennis rackets. So we can go back into BrawlCrate Canary, and we can see that we still have all of these. And what we can do is right click once we select on one of them and replace. I'm going to replace the racket 0 with the racket 0. And it's going to come up with this. Now, you want to make sure that the format is always CMPR. It's not always going to be like that. It's most of the time just going to be like CMPR. But we can just click OK and replace it with all of these too. And as you can see, we have all of these replacements. Now, we can go to File, Save, and it's going to be saved, so we can go back in game. If you're on Dolphin, then just follow what I'm going to do, but if you're on a Wii, then you're going to have to use something like Revolution. So we can go back to our Wii Sports modding, our data, and go back right to where we had it. And we can paste it right here, replace it, and then we can go back to our data. You can open it up in this system folder and do the same thing to where we go to properties, change, and set it up to automatically open with Dolphin. Or if you don't use Dolphin that much, then we can go to Dolphin, just open it up manually, and we can go to open all the way to the system, to the same place, and we can press open. It's going to have us in game now. And we can go ahead to tennis. How about we go to training so it's a bit easier to show. Yeah, we can just do returning balls. Give me a second. If it's going to ask this, then go to controllers, configure, and have none. And as you can see, we load in. Now we have our weird tennis racket. It doesn't look that good because I kind of just rushed it, but you can see that it's definitely changed and we can use it. Okay, so enough of that. Let's move on to boxing. So we can go into our same place, data, files, common, but this time we can go into boxing, of course. So we have our file, Control C, go back out, mods. We can create a folder called boxing mods, go into that, and then we can just paste our file right here. We can also make, let's say we're gonna edit the gloves in this video, so I could just type in gloves. You always want to be organized when you create a lot of projects. So again, we don't have to worry about effect. We can go to G3D and you're going to see our avatar. We're not going to be able to edit that in this video because it's built a bit different. And we can have our glove that we use, our boxing glove. We're going to have our mitt, which is used in training mode. So we can just open up our glove. But in here, it's a bit different from tennis because you see, you do have a red boxing glove and a blue boxing glove in game, but right now we don't. You can see it's red, but there's no textures that's red. That's where this folder comes in. And this is why I wanted to teach two different sports. We're going to see boxing glove blue, boxing glove gym, boxing glove red, and boxing glove white. So I'm going to edit all of these because it's pretty simple. In fact, I'd say it's easier because you don't have to edit any textures. You can press the plus signs right here and go to color register. So we're going to see the mask, and right here you'll see a similar blue color, and if you open up in the red, it's going to be the same thing, a color that we can edit. So we just double click on BrawlCrate right here, and we can edit it to whatever we'd like. So we can make it black even, we can make it like lime, pink. I think it would be cool to have a black boxing glove just for player 1. And I'm also going to show the boxing glove red. It's the same thing with all of these too, but I just want to show. And gym 2, there's going to be all of these colors because in the training mode you have a bunch of different players. You can have up to 4 players, so you can edit those as well, just the same. So we can go to red, and how about we have like a turquoise? That would be cool. So as you can see, we have it all done. I'm not going to showcase everything else, but it's kind of explanatory, and then you can just save it. You can figure it out pretty easily on your own. That's the fun part about modding. So we can exit out of that, copy this, go back into our data, boxing, paste this, and it's going to be pasted. I'm going to go in here to make it easier. We can go into our game. And so I'm going to go into boxing. I can't play very well because I'm on an emulator and I don't have it hooked up, but so we can do the same thing and go to controllers, configure, and add a nunchuck, and it lets us in game. And as you can see, the boxing gloves are definitely changed. They look a lot better. We have our black one and we have our turquoise. You can just go into a game. Like I said, it's not going to be very easy, but I'm going to show that it works. Anyways, that's it for this video. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers so I can do community posts and be more active. If you want any more tutorials, comment down below which one you want next. I'll definitely consider it. And with that said, happy modding and have a nice day.